Francis Barber, born November 26, 1750 in Princeton, New Jersey, spent his youth there. Excelling as a student, he trained to be an educator, graduating from the College of New Jersey, now Princeton University, in 1767. Now degreed, he moved into New Jersey's oldest English city, Elizabethtown, to Proctor. He married into one of New Jersey's original families, tying a knot with Mary Ogden, sister of future Governor Aaron Ogden, on January 26, 1773. After a brief honeymoon, Mary died October of that year. Widowed, Francis would marry Mary's cousin, Anne, having one child, George Clinton Barber. Upon arriving in Elizabethtown, he took a post of schoolmaster at the prestigious Old Academy, regarded among the top Latin and grammar schools in the colonies, with attendees like future Vice President Aaron Burr and Barber's own student, future U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Alexander Hamilton. Those two would fight a duel in Weehawken years later, Burr killing Hamilton after Hamilton shot into the air. In January 1776, Barber and his like-minded student Hamilton both joined the cause of independence, both beginning as lieutenants in artillery units for New Jersey and New York respectively. Barber wasted no time making a name for himself, leading in the capture of British supply ship Blue Mountain Valley on January 22, 1776. For his heroism, he was promoted to major in the 3rd New Jersey Regiment 4 days later. He was in the Army little more than a week and found himself on Washington's radar. Later that year, around his birthday, he was promoted to lieutenant colonel. Nice present, George. Barber, a rare breed of fearless discipline, intellectual, and physical prowess, continued to distinguish himself as an officer, giving the British and Hessians all types of hell during the Forage War under Maxwell and battling at Brandywine and Germantown later in 1777. The Continentals, losing Fort Mercer and Mifflin, found themselves in for a harsh winter at Valley Forge. This is when General Friedrich von Steuben was tasked with turning the American patriots into a proper army. You guessed it, Barber was on the short list and was transferred to Steuben to make it happen. Barber fought bravely in the Turning Point Second Battle of Monmouth in June 1778, where he took a musket ball. A physical specimen, he promptly returned to duty in a couple months and went back to being one of the foremost hornets in New Jersey. He became a deputy adjutant general, serving General Sullivan, and fought against the British allies, the Iroquois, in 1779, before being wounded a second time at the Battle of Newton in August of that year. Back home in New Jersey, the war could have easily been over for him if he chose. Being wounded twice, his honor was more than intact. But in the summer of 1780, when Hessian General Knight Faustin foolishly launched the second invasion of New Jersey, Lieutenant Colonel Barber returned to repel the expeditionary force at Connecticut Farms. Then, as returning General Clinton continued the encroachment, Barber again aided the Patriots in a victory at the Battle of Springfield. Francis the Ferocious Barber was back, but still recovering from battle wounds that would have killed most men. Continental Commander General George Washington had just the post for the highly decorated and respected by all Lieutenant Colonel Barber, and placed him as Deputy Adjutant General at West Point after the treasonous Arnold scandal. His reputation served the cause well in 1781, as he was able to suppress a mutiny from his former New Jersey brigade, unhappy over back pay, with little more than a feverish stare. Now re-energized, he returned to field duty, this time in the Southern Theater, under General Mad Anthony Wayne. He fought in the loss at Green Springs, where 900 Americans faced 7,000 British under Cornwallis. Barber took part in a bayonet charge, which allowed the small Continental force to avoid being annihilated and retreat. This badass somehow was able to make it out and back to his retreating lines. Perhaps he should have been nicknamed the Mad Sweeney Todd. Barber was among American and French forces at Yorktown, where he was aide-de-camp to French General Lafayette. Sounds like a cushy job, right? Ha! Barber was wounded a third time, stabbed with a bayonet in the assault on October 14th, 1781. Yes, he recovered. And yes, he returned to duty, being made a colonel in the 2nd New Jersey Regiment on January 7th, 1783. When he died at this post a month later, General Washington was quoted upon hearing the news. Men of higher rank and more wealth may die, but there is but one Francis Barber.
Wait, Phil. He died. How did the British finally stop the Barber?
They didn't. A tree fell on him in a freak accident while his regiment was clearing a wood.
Damn.